Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another podcast with Founders Club International. I am Mazia Mehta, Marketing Manager at FCI. So, today we have with us Sebastian Galindo. He's all the way from Austin, Texas. He is the CEO of Maple, an online dating app which focuses on revolutionizing the online dating concept. And he's also the CEO, co founder of NexUnicorns, which is for founders by founders and focuses on in analyzing and improving performance of founders. So, Sebastian, it's great to have you. We're very excited to hear about you, your story, your entrepreneurial journey. And yeah, let's just begin. Tell us about yourself. Begin with introducing yourself.
Perfect. No, great meeting you, Masia, and yeah, looking forward for the podcast.
Yeah.
But yes, as far as Maple, I think you hit it off right. We are what we call the future of online dating. We are trying to revolutionize in so many ways that I'm looking forward to talk about. Hello? Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's yours or mine.
Can you hear me?
Perfect, yes, I can hear you. Just trying to make sure. I think your camera is frozen. I don't know what's going on here. Hey, can you hear me?
Hi, Sebastian. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You?
Yeah. Sorry about
Okay,
that.
I don't know what happened there. It's all good.
Yeah. So yeah, you can continue.
No, so I was saying that I'm excited to tell you all about what we're doing on Maple and how we're changing the. We like to say that we're flipping the tables because we are. So we'll get to it.
Yeah. So why don't you just take us back to your early days, college? How did you come up with Maple? How did you decide you want to build an online dating app? How did it start?
Yeah, sure. So I started. Well, my first company before Maple was called Jungle. It was a
Mm-hmm.
online dating app as well. And the whole idea came after probably 2020, the pandemic hit. So all the bars in college were closed, and it was my senior year. But me and all my friends, we knew that all the people were still in town. So we said, okay, how can we see the people that we're so used to see at the bars, see them now the bars are closed. So we created this dating app that you had to select your favorite bars and restaurants in town, and then you'd be able to see like-minded people in the area, so people that at least like on one of those places in common.
Yeah.
So we launched that, and we had a great success. A lot of people liked the concept. They liked the test flight. We had about 500 users within a couple days, so we hit it off.
Yeah. How did you initiate this? How did you get people to trust you with this? How did you get the investors?
Yeah, no, no. I mean, with Jungle at first, we were just bootstrapping. I had two co-founders for that company, and then once we launched in my college towns, people liked it. We said, okay, let's go all in for it. So we all sold our cars, and then we started building it. And then Jungle sadly had to run out of business because we had some people that were jeopardizing the company, and essentially we ran out of money. We couldn't raise more
Yeah.
capital. But then we still, like me and my co-founders, Saul and Jake, we still had the same goal, which was connecting people. And we knew that the dating industry had an enormous potential. So we said, okay, let's go for it. So after a couple of months, we started Maple, and then Maple is an entirely new approach than the old idea Jungle, and we're focusing heavily on AI and matching people based on how compatible you are and getting rid of all the swiping features and whatnot.
That's a great idea and great initiative, I think. Can you just take us through the process of how Maple works for those who don't know?
Yeah, so right now we have a current build on the App Store and Google Play that it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's a dating app that instead of liking the person based on the picture, you like the person by suggesting a first date location. We have a
Okay.
database of all the restaurants, bars, and activities in town, so it's a bit easier to plan the first date and essentially just go to a safe venue. You know, instead of going to X, Y, and Z apartment, you can literally just go to a place that you feel comfortable in, whether it's a restaurant or just walk your dog in the park or a coffee place, whatever it might be. But the new build that we're gonna launch very very soon, it's essentially an entire new approach. We realize that with the current build that we have, okay, it's sort of cool. It's cooler than everything in the market, but it is not unique.
Yeah.
We still have the same problems, which are people hate dating apps because they spend a lot of time swiping right and left, or they spend hours a week only to not meet anybody or have weird experiences. So now with the new approach, we try and make it entirely
So that
AI.
just sets you apart.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, we try and make an entirely new AI and machine learning approach, which, yes, you're gonna have a longer sign up process. You're gonna have we're gonna ask the key questions, get to know your user model more, and then we're gonna match you with a compatible date in Austin. We're gonna launch in Austin first, and then we're gonna match you with a date in Austin in a location already given. So every 24 hours, you come to the app, you already have a date planned with everything. You can accept, reject, or go on to the next day. So
Okay, so is this just limited to Austin, or
right now will be, yes. We're gonna focus heavily on Austin. We're trying to take the Airbnb approach at first. Just make sure that 100 people love us, then 1,000, then 100,000, then a million. Because at the end of the day, it's an entirely new approach for the dating
yeah,
industry as a whole.
yeah,
And I don't know if you know, but people that are used like that use dating apps, they hate it. There's over 400 million dating app users, and it's the single most hated category. So something has to change, and we're here to make change. So we'll see what happens.
that's great. So why don't you talk to us about your entrepreneurial journey? Of course, it's not easy. I'm sure you must have faced a lot of ups and downs, challenges. Is there something is some particular low point that you might have faced? You're comfortable with sharing with our startup owners, entrepreneurs who are stepping in. Anything, any advice that you would want to give to them?
Yes, I mean, I think the roughest part of entrepreneurs is thinking they can raise a lot of capital really fast. And at the end of the day, some founders are lucky enough to be able to do it without having a product market fit or anything. But I think the roughest part is,
Yeah.
yes, trying to raise capital, selling the vision at earlier stages. And a lot of investors get it, which those are the visionaries that at the end of the
Yeah.
day are also the ones that have the tremendous upside with the founders they believe in. So I think up to date, we raised from angel investors over $70,000, but we are also putting our personal money. So the entire company as a whole has about $300,000 invested. And right now we're in a seed round. We're trying to raise $2 million. that'll last us for 24 months, and we were trying to facilitate 150,000 dates and generate $4.5 million for revenue for our partnerships.
Yeah.
I think it's super doable with the new model, and very excited about it.
Perfect. I would just like to add over here, everybody who's watching, if you have any questions, please post them on the comment section, so that I can show them up on the screen as well.
I think so.
We have a question for you, Sebastian.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, can you see the question in the comments?
Yes, I just saw it. Okay. It says, how's that been success?
Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. That's a great question. Right now we're training the machine learning and the AI to how can we ask the right questions based on human psychology to pair people based on similarity, like like how compatible you are with the person. That's been a challenge, but now that asking the right questions again, the sign-up process is a bit longer than expected, but we're able to really just get to know you as much as we can. And after we set you up with the first date, you also have feedback on how was a date, X, Y, and Z. So basically, we tell the users that we're not gonna get it right the first time, but as you go on more and more dates, we're essentially gonna pair you up with the final date because of the data that we collect along the way.
Perfect. I think that addresses their question. I think we have another one. Can you see it?
Let me see.
I'll just post a comment.
Oh, perfect. Much better. Okay, so how's it been so far? That's perfect. No, that's a great question too. I think finding the right team, as well as finding investors and everything, is one of the biggest challenges for founders. And if you're not a technical founder, finding that specific guy or girl that's willing to take it to the next level with you, and most of the times it's not sweet at first. It's really challenging. So you need to really just be able to find the right person and selling the vision. You as the founder of the CEO or whatever position you have in the company, I think is your duty to be able to sell the vision to the people you want to bring on your team, and you got to make sure that they're as motivated as you are. So I think that's what it is.
From that, I would like to ask you, what is something that you look for in when you're looking to hire someone, or when you're looking for people to work with? What is it you look for in them?
They got to be motivated. I think people can learn a lot of things. They can learn how to code a new programming language. They can learn a lot of things, but you cannot learn to be motivated or be super pumped. Be always with the motivation up. So I think that's one of the key factors that I look for people. People that are highly motivated, ambitious, and visionaries, and the rest we can learn. But those
Yeah.
three core values are critical.
Perfect, perfect. Anything that you want to share with us? Any specific particular challenge that you faced in your journey with Maple? Anything that you want to share? Are you comfortable with sharing with us?
Yeah. I mean, I think all the challenge that we've had, it's more of all the pivots that we're able to go through. You think once you make the company, you think you're gonna be able to make it right away, but at the end of the day, you have a lot of pivots in order to find the truly product market fit. As you innovate to be different, and I think there's a lot of challenges along the way. But our side was we were able to acquire over 20,000 users with the current build, but now we're
Mm-hmm.
able to we decided to literally just flip the entire model, flip the entire tables, to really explore a new venue, a new avenue. I think always betting on innovation is going to work out, but we know there's a lot of challenges ahead, and we look forward to do it. It's interesting. It's kind of like an adventure.
Great. We have another question for you.
Very first customers. Yeah, so we launched first in college towns. We're traveling to I think 6 to 7 different college towns, literally just talking in front of auditoriums, talking to people, giving flyers, giving them donuts for a download. And that's where people are able to really start using it, and we're able to gather feedback. And at the end of the day, college towns work perfectly for consumer products because all your users are compounded in a single place.
That's great. That's great. Anything else that you would want to share with us? Let's say, what was that moment when you actually felt like you succeeded at Maple? Something, a great achievement that you might have experienced during your journey.
Well, it's funny enough because we have all those highs, but the highs usually last about a few hours until you hit reality again, no? And we have highs when we get investors or when we get big partnerships. We're partners with Open Table. They gave us access to over 60,000 restaurants in the US. And moments like that, when you get, your first 1,000 users, whatever it might be, you get the highs, but also it says reality pretty quick that you need to work harder now. And yes, I think
Great. I would actually like to know a little bit about your background. Where have you received your education from? What was your school, college? After that, when did you actually begin your career, your entrepreneurial journey?
sure, sure. Yeah, I started, I was born and raised in Bolivia, in South America. And then I came to the US to college, to University of Florida. I had internships, one in Hong Kong. So I was able to be there for several months. I learned a lot. I was working with this amazing company, Energy Box. It's one of my uncles. He's the operator of that company. And I was able to learn a lot about the business world and basically everything. So after that, we started my entrepreneurial career in college, where we had this idea in COVID. During COVID, a lot of people wanted to experience seeing more people and whatnot, but they're not able to do it because all the bars were closed. And ever since then, we haven't stopped.
We have another question for you.
Do you coach people building? Well, yeah. So what we have, this is not part of Maple, but I created this tool for. I had the issue myself, and I think one of the main issues when you're creating a pitch deck is that you want to get the right feedback as much as possible. You want to send it to your friends, but you don't want only thumbs up. Okay, that's good to go. You really want feedback page by page to be able to create these amazing decks. You can send it to investors. Usually first founders don't get it right the first way. They got to redo their pitch deck 1,000 times. So I created this small tool because I needed it, where you can upload your pitch deck and you can send it to your friends or to whoever, and they can comment and rate it page by page, allowing you to gather the most feedback possible. And then we have AI recommendations based on that feedback. How can you do it better? So I
Um,
don't personally coach them, but my tool that I created does, yes.
so, Sebastian, where do you actually see Maple in the next 5 years, maybe? What's the vision for your company? How are you going to keep setting it apart from all the other dating apps? We already have a lot like Tinder, Bumble, and I'm sure we're going to have a lot in the future as well. So, what is it that you're planning on to set your company apart, set your app apart from everybody else?
Most definitely. I think all these companies that you just mentioned are using the old approach, the approach that people hate. Again, 400 million dating app users, and it's the single most hated category in the whole world. I think all these companies, they launched Tinder 2012. They're a little old school. Now it's a new era. People are hating it. So now it's time to change.
Mm.
Leveraging what we have now with artificial intelligence and machine learning, we actually now have the tools to make it a little better, a little smoother, and getting rid of all the time that you're spending all these sites to only not have any luck. I think the new approach of Maple will be connecting people in a safe location based on how compatible you are with the person. And I see Maple in the next 5 years being the number one platform that connects people for dating.
Yeah, actually, how do you ensure safety on this app?
Well, that's one of the coolest features that we have, since all the first dates are on a location that's given by our AI too, obviously within the parameters of the users. And since that first date is in a either a coffee place or a restaurant or X, Y, and Z, that itself is a little safer since it's a public venue. But we also have a lot of other safety measures that you can send your location to your
Do
friends.
you keep like a track of whoever's going on a date? Do you keep a track of the individuals who are signing up for a date?
Yes, yes. Of course, you can send that. Let's say you're going on a date tomorrow to this coffee place,
Yeah.
and we tell you, okay, Masi, you're going on a date with this guy Mark, and then we show you Mark's profile, and then we tell you why we think that the AI, like what was the thought process behind the AI that thinks you guys should meet, and it's a little summary like Masia and Mark should meet because they're both like podcasts, they both like technology, or whatever it might be. So I think you already have like a little insight on what this super intelligent, AI thinks of
Yeah.
what you guys should meet, and then we're giving you like a cool place, a coffee place, let's say on a date or for a Saturday, 11 a.m., and then you can accept, reject, or suggest a different time or look or place. And then if you accept to go, you have the chance to send your location, your live location to your friends, sort of like what Uber and Lyft has, that you're able to track X, Y, and Z. We have a red button too that you're able to. Once you click it, we notify your friends, and we also notify the restaurant or bar owner that you're at, and then they can actually, help you out with whatever it might be. But I think the fact that we're
Amazing.
connecting people in a place, it's already much safer than anything in the market. All the companies that are out there are focusing only on swiping and matching, and then they leave the rest to the users. We are trying to focus on meeting. We're trying to make these people meet, these users meet, find their one in a safe location, and without, they don't have to do anything but complete their profile as honest as they can be. So then we can work as efficient as we can be too.
I think that's really cool. I mean, it's amazing. It's an amazing feature, and I think that definitely sets you apart from the other apps, other dating apps.
So,
So yeah, why don't you talk a little bit about yeah,
can you
I
repeat
just
it?
want to yeah, I just want to know a bit about how AI is contributing to your business, your company. Like, how important do you think it is? What would you do without it? You know?
No, I mean, artificial intelligence, it's one of the core, it's a core business right now since that's our
Yeah.
matchmaking algorithm. All the parameters go through it. So I think obviously it's one of our core features. And the problem with AI is more collecting the right data, and how do we collect the right data by asking the right questions all along the sign up process, post sign up, and also collecting feedback from the days you go on. And the more feedback data X, Y, and Z that we have, is the better the AI can, be more efficient too, be able to pair you up.
Great. Yeah, I think that's true. AI is the new future, and yeah,
No, AI is gonna change. AI is a new internet, in my opinion. It's gonna flip
yeah,
all the industries in tremendous ways, and we're just the beginning of it. And
yeah,
companies that actually focuses on connecting
mm,
people, it's never going to end. Like people always want to meet new people, they want to have experiences. So leveraging the new technology of AI to actually accomplish these goals, I think is crucial.
yeah. That's completely true. I agree with you, and yeah, I think a lot of companies in the future are gonna just shift to AI. They're gonna shift to everything that's connecting people through AI. Yeah, that's I agree with that. And other than that, let's just come to your app. That's you also have another company, Next Unicorn. You want to talk about that?
Well, yes, NexUnicorn is super early stages right now. I'm working
Mm-hmm.
with co-founder Lucas. He's he's a really super smart guy from Yale University. He's a researcher for
Mm-hmm.
neural models as well. And we're trying to make a tool for salespeople, sort of like a gym, where you train every day and you become better every day by training. So managers can set KPIs to their sales team, and they can actually recommend X, Y, and Z to do to their sales teams and get all the feedback and also insight from the industry that or the people that they have to pitch. But again, super early stages, and one day once we're out, we'll be able to discuss a little more.
Yeah. Okay. 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 Sure. I'm sure that's gonna go great as well for you. Anything else that you want to talk about? Maybe how Maple is gonna work in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Is it a long term plan that you think? Is it gonna make an impact any somehow?
No, the whole goal of Maple is to make a whole impact on the dating industry, but not only dating industry. it's more of making an impact in the world by connecting people in a safe location. At the end of the day, we'll be helping, yes, the people meeting, but also the businesses generating a lot of revenue.
Mm-hmm.
150,000 dates equals $4.5 million in revenue for the businesses, counting only a $30 average
Yeah.
spend per day, which,
Can you actually elaborate a bit on that? Your revenue generation, the process of your revenue generation. Can you elaborate a bit on that?
yeah, so compared to all the businesses, all our competitors, we have a dual revenue model, bringing revenue to our businesses and also to, like the in-app subscriptions for the users itself. And for the businesses, it's pretty cool because once we start bringing all these dates to their locations, they're making X, Y, and Z extra revenue, and the business owners will be able to promote their venue or their location in
Mm-hmm.
April, so it can be the first location for suggesting for the dates, for example. So it'll be
Okay.
a great way for generating extra revenue for them. Once we can prove that data point that we're bringing people, I think it's gonna be awesome.
Okay. Okay. Great. Also, do you think you're gonna expand Maple to maybe like right now it's just about dating, right? Do you think you're gonna expand? You're gonna unlimit the access to maybe just random maybe like for example, Founders Club works to interact connect founders with other founders, entrepreneurs, the community. So do you think Maple is gonna expand, or is it just gonna stay restricted to just dating and yeah, that.
Well, right now the whole purpose of the company and the whole goal is focusing on the dating aspect. I think it's a market that focuses solely on human psychology, human
Mm-hmm.
nature. Everybody wants to meet their one. Now we're shifting to a new era. Technology is much more, like back in the days, Tinder was crazy. Meeting someone
Yeah.
online was crazy, or letting someone stay in your apartment, such as Airbnb, was crazy.
Yeah.
In the quality, it'll become the new normal very soon. And in the data industry, I think there is a tremendous potential that's unexplored. And I also think that all the companies that are out there, they did it wrong because clearly they did it wrong because so many people hate it. So I think there's like good change that we can do. And yes, we're focusing on that one.
That's really good to hear. I'm very excited to see what your company does in the future. I'm sure you're going to do great things. We have another question.
Yes, most definitely. Now with great tools such as OpenAI, GP3, and there's a lot of libraries out there that are able to help us expedite the process on collecting data, all the natural language processors too. I think yes, the speed of AI, it's only because this new era is already kind of like a thing, we're able to leverage that technology ourselves and add a few parameters and build our own model based on past, like models are out there in the market too.
Okay. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Iman, for asking. Yeah. So, what else? Can we just talk about maybe what you think of is there something else that you have in mind? Is there something else that you want to do like in the future, a startup other than Maple, other than NexUnicorn? What do you think for yourself in the future, in the next 10 years maybe?
No, I want to be 100% focused on this. And I think a lot of founders, it's crazy having one company. It's crazy having more responsibilities. But when something is
Yeah.
important enough, I think you should do it. And now I have my plate extremely full. I'm focusing
Yeah.
100% on what I have in front of me, and that's my goal. Yes.
Yeah, so how do you work with this? What is one advice that you would like to give entrepreneurs who are handling like different things? How's it? What keeps you focused? What keeps you driven towards what you're doing? How do you manage and organize yourself?
I think it's all about productivity, managing your day, being able to, yes, get on meetings, but get out as soon as you can. There's no BS on
Yeah.
talking on a meeting for 20, 30 minutes for no reason. You should be able to talk to your engineers, to your team. We need this
Mm.
X, Y, Z, go on to the next. And early stages companies don't have a lot of employees. I am lucky enough to be able to have recruited a lot of good engineers for both companies. So I think it depends on the different companies, different stories, different purposes, and different challenges as well. But for myself, I think it's all about how efficient I am with my day. So I need also time to focus and really think on, okay, what are we doing good, what are we doing bad. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, my engineers are able to do one thing, but the other thing, it's entirely up to me.
Of course, of course. And with startups, I feel it's just full of risks, it's full of challenges, and it's full of setbacks as well. So tell us, how do you deal with these setbacks? I'm sure you faced many during this entire journey of Maple, and I'm sure you will in the future as well. How do you deal with this? How do you get yourself to move on and proceed again?
With setbacks, I think that's the part of the any process in life. A baby wants to start, like a kid wants to start learning how to walk. It's gonna fall a million times before it's able to walk and then run and then X, Y, and Z. So I think it's all part of the journey. And any setback, I don't take it personally, whatever it might be, whatever it is. I just try to look at the bigger picture, and that always keeps me in my head looking forward and with the tunnel vision.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. What is something that you really think is important when you're working in a startup, especially? Like, for example, I feel like with startups, it's very important to empower your coworkers, your employees, because it's just a path that is going to achieve something that you don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what the risk is. You don't know where it's going to go. So, how important is it to empower your workers to,
Yes, no, I think it's a that's one of the things that I mean, people in companies should focus the most, empowering your not your workers, but we call them, in case in my company, everybody that works in our company, we call them like it's part of our family. We all have a mission, and that's the way we see things as mission. We don't see this as work. It's our mission to get X, Y, and Z done. And obviously, we have in all the daily stand-up calls or meetings that we always try to pump each other up because a little push always is not needed. But the whole purpose of hiring the right people is that you don't need to be always on their back motivating them, because they're already so motivated by the end mission that they already have this fire, and they keep going no matter what. So I think
yeah.
hire the right people that I think I said it earlier, that have this ambition, this motivation, and they're
Yeah,
always super pumped about it. That's the most important feature, or most important part of that anybody that wants to start a company has to do.
definitely. I think the most important factor is that if they're willing to work, if they're willing to learn, and if they're willing to take the risk.
Exactly. By their own too.
Yeah,
You don't have to be in their backs all the time. They already know what to do because they share the same mission as you.
of course. And I think they should have just have that capability to take ownership as well for their mistakes.
No, 100% they have to.
Yeah. Another question for you.
Yes, as far as investors go, that's a tough question. Some investors want to see revenue. Some investors want to see the vision. Some investors want to see X, Y, and Z. And I think talking to the right investors, most importantly, selling the right vision. And it's always different at the end of the day. But yes, have you ever recognized some sort of? Yes, so I've talked probably to 1,000 investors, and we have 7 investors in the company. So I think you get 1,000 no's for one yes, and that's what we
Is there
do.
something specific that you look for as well when you're talking to investors? How do you know that this is who I want to work with? This is who I want to trust?
Yes, I'm pretty easy at reading people. I think I like to know that too. And whenever I talk to an investor, I can tell that if the person is going to be quote unquote a pain in the ass or not.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they're investing in an early stage company. They're investing on the team and the vision and in the product as well. So I like to bring investors or people into the team that are really willing to understand everything that's going on and let us do our thing, and obviously take advices. We take advices, and why not? Don't take orders, but we take advices.
Yeah, absolutely. Another question for you.
Success stories regarding Maple. We have quite a few, but one of my favorite ones is that I met my current girlfriend on Maple. She was she's a founder as well. And for our first date, we recommended a tech event here in Austin. So that's how we met, and we've been dating ever since. It's been almost 2 months now.
That's great. Yeah. So actually, take us through this process. How did you guys meet? How did Maple contribute to this?
Yeah, so we met on the current build that you have to suggest a first date location for every like sent. And obviously, in her profile, I can see that she's a founder. She was talking about her startup. And yes, I recommended a tech event for our first date. And we met on the tech event. And after that, we went dinner. And we've been talking ever since then. We started dating, and now it's almost 2 months, as I said.
That's great. That's great. So yeah, I would also want to ask you, how do you plan on representing your company in the future? How do you plan on representing Maple in the future, expanding it? I feel like maybe still, I feel like not a lot of people might be aware of Maple. So how do you feel about working on that? How do you feel? How do you want to represent that? Take it, a step ahead.
Yeah, so we're gonna hyper focus on Austin, Texas at first. As I said, we're gonna take the Airbnb approach because at the end of the day, if we launch this new version in the entire country, entire world, it's not gonna work. We need to hyper focus in one city, then go into the
Yeah.
next, go into the next. And once
Yeah.
we conquer Austin, we're gonna try to go to San Francisco, and then we're gonna raise capital along the way, be able to market it. And then once we raise enough capital, we regenerated a lot of revenue. We're gonna start poking multiple cities at the same time.
That's good. I'm actually looking forward to Maple just making it outside of Austin as well, so all of
I
us
don't
can,
know, in a couple of
know
years.
about it. All of us can function. Yeah, actually. Sebastian, what is your secret to profiting in life? What is something that you strictly follow? Maybe just a routine, a daily lifestyle routine, anything that makes you wake up in the morning and do what you're doing.
It's funny about routines. Now I just started doing a routine with my girlfriend. We wake up at 4 a.m., we meditate, and then we go to the gym, we come to the office, and that's it daily, every single day. But something that keeps me up in the morning, it's having the thought that we can actually have an impact in the world. Some people value
Yeah.
money, some people value X, Y, and Z. I value living an impact, and we live in a society now that you leave an impact by only creating something great or doing great.
Yeah,
The
that's
greater-
that's exactly. I think that's exactly why Taha might have also connected with you. That's exactly the vision of our company as well. We want to help people. We want to create an impact. We want to tell people how we truly care for them, and it's not just about money. So yeah, I can definitely relate to you on that. Um, what else would you like to tell our listeners about yourself? How can they connect with you? How can they learn more about you? You want to maybe talk about your websites, your socials, um, anywhere they can go to like know more about you.
Yes, I mean anybody can find me on LinkedIn, Sebastian Galindo, of course, and on Twitter it's Step Galindo one, and our websites are maplex.io. My other startups is NexUnicorn.com. And you'll be hearing a lot of news because we have exciting news on the
Mm-hmm.
back that we're going to start releasing very soon for both companies, and looking forward.
Amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah, Sebastian, that was very, very wonderful learning about Maple, learning about your entrepreneurial journey. I'm sure a lot of people might be inspired by this. A lot of people are willing to check your app out, check your website out. And yeah, I'm sure they will be connecting with you. Anything else that you want to say before we end this podcast?
I think that's perfect. I think it was great talking to you.
Yeah, same. Likewise, likewise. We would love to stay in touch with you. We would love to stay connected with you, and I'm sure we can come up with more stuff together. And yeah, it was wonderful.
Perfect, perfect. Looking forward. Okay.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good day.
you.